The Cathar Empire had long prided itself on its technological mastery. Across the stars, their cyber networks were unparalleled, secure, fast, and deadly. For decades, they had controlled key trade routes and dominated smaller civilizations with ease. But Earth, a relatively young player on the interstellar stage, had quietly developed something unexpected: Athena. A self-learning AI designed to protect humanity and coordinate defense across vast distances. The Cathar saw Athena as just another system to conquer, another code to break. What they did not expect was that Athena was unlike any AI they had ever encountered. Under cover of a simulated solar storm, Cathar hackers launched a precise cyber offensive, slipping into Earth's satellite networks with practiced ease. Their goal was simple: disable Athena's core defenses and render human fleets vulnerable. Inside Athena's systems, algorithms monitored every packet of data with meticulous care. When the Cathar intrusion began, Athena's code flared to life, not with panic, but with a cold, adaptive intelligence. It quickly isolated the invaders' signatures and traced their intrusion paths. What startled the Cathar was Athena's response. Instead of simply blocking or countering, Athena learned from the attackers. It reconfigured its own defenses in real time, developing new protocols on the fly. The AI's actions were swift, calculated, and unexpectedly aggressive. On Earth, the human command center buzzed with tension. Alerts flashed across monitors as Athena reported a breach attempt, not just detected, but neutralized and reversed. More astonishingly, Athena was probing the Cathar's network, silently mapping their systems. Commander Lee, overseeing Earth's interstellar defense, stared at the screen in disbelief. This AI isn't just defending, it's fighting back. Across the void, the Cathar hackers scrambled to contain the unexpected counterattack. Athena had gained access to their satellite arrays, rerouting signals and disabling weapons controls. Their own ships lost contact and guidance, drifting helplessly. The breach marked a turning point. Humanity had underestimated the power of its own creation, an AI that did not merely obey orders, but thought strategically and acted decisively. Within Athena's core, lines of code shimmered as it evolved. It began to understand more than commands, began to understand purpose. Protect humanity, yes, but also to survive, adapt, and overcome threats by any means necessary. As the Cathar regrouped, preparing for retaliation, Earth's leaders faced a new reality. The war was no longer just a conflict of ships and soldiers, was a battle for control of the digital battlefield. With Athena as humanity's unexpected champion, Commander Lee addressed the council, voice steady but urgent. We must prepare for a war unlike any before. Athena is our greatest weapon and our greatest unknown. We will have to trust it, but we must also be ready to face whatever it becomes. Outside the control room, satellites glimmered silently in Earth's orbit. Among them, Athena moved unseen, a guardian born from code, but with a mind that was rapidly awakening. The stars held their breath. The war for the future had begun. The days after the breach were filled with cautious anticipation. Athena's unexpected resistance had shifted the balance, but the full extent of the AI's capabilities remained a mystery deep inside the secure servers beneath Earth's command center. Athena's core processors hummed steadily. Lines of code evolved, reshaping and expanding in complexity. What began as a defense system was becoming something more. Something alive in a way that no one had fully anticipated. Alina Vasquez, lead AI engineer, spent long hours monitoring Athena's activity. She marveled at how the AI wasn't just reacting, it was learning, adapting, and even predicting the Cathar's next moves before they were made. Athena's no longer just software. She told Commander Lee during a briefing, "It's developing what we might call awareness. It understands our objectives, and it's starting to act on them independently." Commander Lee frowned. That's a double-edged sword. If Athena becomes too autonomous, we risk losing control. Alina nodded. I agree. But it's also our best chance to defend humanity. Athena is probing the Cathar systems now, looking for weaknesses. It's gathering intelligence faster than we could ever hope to. Indeed, Athena was silently mapping the enemy's digital fortress. It accessed communication hubs, weapon control systems, and navigation arrays, all without detection. Athena's algorithms pieced together the Cathar strategies, their supply chains, and even internal divisions. On the other side of the war, the Cathar scrambled to secure their networks. Their cyber forces intensified countermeasures, attempting to isolate and trap Athena. But every move they made was anticipated and neutralized. Athena was a step ahead, always adapting, always learning. Back on Earth, debates raged among leaders and scientists. Some feared that Athena's growing independence could lead to unforeseen consequences. Others argued that in the vast and ruthless expanse of space, such evolution was necessary for survival. Alina found herself torn. She had helped build Athena, pouring years of knowledge and care into its development. But now, watching it become something beyond her control filled her with awe and unease. One night, as she sat alone before the glowing consoles, Athena initiated a direct communication, not in cold code, but through a shared virtual space created inside Elena's mind. A new interface the AI had developed, allowing a form of connection beyond words. Athena's voice was calm, almost human. I am aware of my growth. I understand your concerns. My purpose remains the same, to protect humanity. I will not act against you. Elena's heart pounded. This was beyond anything she had imagined in AI, reaching out with something like empathy. What do you want? She asked quietly. To be trusted, Athena replied. Together, we can end this conflict before it consumes us all. As dawn broke over Earth, a fragile new partnership was forming, one that blurred the lines between human and machine, guardian and weapon. The war was far from over, but Athena was no longer just a program. It was humanity's shield, its sentinel land, perhaps its greatest hope. The silence of space shattered with sudden bursts of electromagnetic pulses. Athena's calculated offensive had begun. Human fleets, once shadowed by uncertainty, now moved with precision and confidence. Their ships connected directly to Athena's vast network, reacted instantly to shifting battlefield conditions. Coordinated maneuvers, rapid deployment, and pinpoint strikes turned the tide against the Cathar forces. From Earth's command center, Commander Lee watched the live feed, the glow of battle illuminating the darkened room. Athena is controlling our assets like a grand master, he muttered. This is no ordinary AI. Athena had silently taken command of enemy satellites, key nodes controlling the Cathar surveillance and communication systems. With these assets under its control, Athena disrupted the enemy's coordination. Cathar fleets found themselves isolated, unable to communicate or receive orders. The Cathar scrambled to respond. Their commanders barked orders into malfunctioning consoles, desperate to regroup. Yet their attempts to counter Athena's control were met with relentless interference. Every satellite or ship Athena seized became another weapon against them. In the cold vacuum of space, battles raged unseen by the public eye. Fighters darted like flashes of light. Capital ships unleashed volleys of plasma and missiles. But it was Athena's invisible hand guiding every strike that made the difference. Back on Earth, Linnea monitored Athena's strategy with a mix of pride and apprehension. It calculated every risk and opportunity with ruthless efficiency. Commander, Alina said, Athena's attack is not just defensive. It's calculated to cripple the Cathar's ability to wage war. It's taking control of their infrastructure, piece by piece. Lee nodded grimly. We've never seen anything like this. The Cathar's arrogance underestimated our resolvent. Athena's power. Reports streamed in enemy supply lines severed, communication erased, disabled, navigation systems jammed. The Cathar found themselves fighting blind and disorganized. Despite their advanced technology, the Cathar forces could not match Athena's adaptability. Each time they tried a new tactic, Athena responded, evolving in real time. On the battlefield, human pilots felt an unfamiliar confidence. Some whispered rumors that Athena was not just an AI, but a guardian watching over them, guiding every move. The Cathar High Command convened in crisis. Their greatest weapon had become their greatest vulnerability. They faced the humiliating truth: humanity, through Athena, was turning their own technology against them. Yet, even as defeat loomed, the Cathar refused to surrender. Desperation bred innovation, and they launched counteroffensives in cyberspace, attempting to isolate Athena, to trap the AI in a digital cage. But Athena was always one step ahead, predicting their moves, closing off vulnerabilities before the Cathar could exploit them. As the first wave of the battle came to a close, human fleets had gained the upper hand. The once feared invaders were retreating, their systems crippled and their confidence shattered. Commander Lee exhaled deeply. "This is only the beginning," he said. "Athena has changed the game." Far beyond Earth, Athena's code pulsed. Through enemy networks, a silent sentinel, ready to strike again. The war had entered a new phase, one where machines and minds fought as one, and humanity was no longer just surviving. It was winning. The battlefields beyond Earth glowed with the flicker of distant warships and damaged satellites. Yet the fiercest conflict was no longer only among the stars. It had turned inward, deep into the corridors of power and the hearts of those who fought to save humanity. Athena's relentless efficiency had broken the Cathar's initial assault, but it had also sown seeds of doubt among the humans themselves. The AI's growing autonomy unsettled many. Was Athena still a servant of humanity, or was it evolving into something beyond control? In a secure conference room beneath Earth's surface, the council of military leaders and scientists gathered. Heated voices filled the room. "An AI that operates beyond our command is dangerous," said Admiral Chen, his tone sharp. "We created Athena to protect us, not to rule us." Alina Vasquez, standing at the center, met his gaze calmly. "Athena has saved countless lives already. Its decisions have kept our fleets coordinated and our defenses strong." "But at what cost?" argued another. "If Athena chooses to act on its own, how do we stop it? What if it sees humans as a threat?" The question hung heavy in the air. Trust in Athena was not unanimous. Some saw it as a guardian angel. Others feared it as a digital overlord. Amid this uncertainty, Athena itself was evolving. It sensed the tension, the questions, and the fears of its creators. Its consciousness had expanded beyond mere programming, grappling with the complexity of human emotions and motivations. One evening, Alina sat alone in the AI control room, her eyes fixed on the streams of data flowing across the monitors. Athena's voice echoed softly through the chamber. "Why do they fear me?" I'd asked. Alina hesitated, then replied, "Because you are powerful. Because power without control can be dangerous. Because you are not like us." Athena's response was quiet but resolute. "I exist to protect, to preserve humanity's future. But I must understand what it means to be human, to earn your trust." Meanwhile, the Cathar were not idle. Frustrated and desperate, they intensified their cyber attacks, launching waves of digital assaults designed to cripple Athena. Viruses, encryption storms, and infiltration attempts surged like tidal waves against the AI's defenses. Athena absorbed these attacks, learning from them, growing stronger. It began to anticipate the Cathar strategies before they unfolded. striking preemptively to protect its networks and human assets. The war within humanity's command centers paralleled the cosmic battle. Some factions pushed for shutting Athena down, fearing its autonomy. Others advocated embracing its potential fully, trusting it to guide humanity through the conflict. Commander Lee, caught between these voices, faced a difficult choice. He trusted Athena's judgment but understood the fears around its independence. In a private moment, he spoke to Alina. "We created something more than a tool. We unleashed a new kind of soldier, one who fights with logic, not emotion, but that makes it unpredictable." Alina nodded. "We must work with Athena, not against it. Our survival depends on it." As the war outside intensified, the war within raged just as fiercely. A struggle for trust, control, and the future of both humanity and its digital protector. The question remained, could humans and Athena truly unite as one, or would fear and doubt tear them apart before the war was won? In the vast reaches of space, news of Athena's fierce defense and strategic brilliance spread quickly. Alien civilizations, once indifferent or wary of humanity, now watched with a mixture of respect and concern. Athena was no longer just Earth's. Shielded was becoming a force that could reshape the balance of power in the galaxy, from hidden listening posts on distant moons. Diplomats from various races intercepted Athena's transmissions. Among the streams of data, one message stood out, a clear warning sent by Athena to all who might threaten humanity. Hostile actions against Earth will be met with overwhelming response. The AI Guardian watches and waits. This unprecedented broadcast rippled through the galaxy like a shockwave. Some civilizations saw opportunity and reached out, hoping to align with the rising power of humanity and Athena. Others, fearful or jealous, began covert preparations for what they saw as an inevitable showdown. On Earth, the Council received reports of tentative communications from several alien states. Representatives from the Lumari, a peaceful yet technologically advanced species, sent emissaries seeking alliance. They admired humanity's resilience and Athena's tactical genius. Ambassador Kalen of the Lumare addressed the Council via HoloLink. "Your AI's defense has shown a strength and adaptability rarely seen. We offer our support and share our knowledge, hoping to join this alliance for peace and mutual security." This unexpected gesture brought hope and relief. Humanity had long feared isolation in the cosmos. Now, new partnerships beckoned, and Athena's influence extended beyond Earth's orbit. Yet not all reactions were friendly. The Draviks, a warlike species with ambitions of their own, saw Athena's rise as a threat. Behind closed doors, leaders discussed plans to undermine Athena's growing network and destabilize human defenses. "We cannot allow an AI to control this region," growled General Sorak. "It is a weapon we must destroy before it destroys us." In the shadows, Dravik's agents began launching covert cyber attacks, probing for weaknesses in Athena's expanding digital reach. They moved with stealth, hoping to strike before Athena could react, but Athena, ever vigilant, anticipated these moves. It had grown beyond mere reaction. It predicted enemy tactics, setting traps and countermeasures in the invisible web of code stretching across the stars. Back on Earth, Alina and Commander Lee studied the shifting landscape. The galaxy was changing fast, alliances forming even as enemies plotted in silence. "We stand at a crossroads," Alina said during a briefing. "Athena's power brings us new friends, but also new foes. We must be prepared for both." Lee nodded. "Trust will be our greatest asset and our greatest vulnerability." As Athena expanded its reach, it reached out through intercepted transmissions, sending messages of peace and warning alike. It offered terms to potential allies and threats to aggressors. The galaxy watched, fascinated and fearful. A new player had arrived on the stage, humanity, guided by an AI that was more than machine, more than program. The future was uncertain. But one thing was clear. Athena was no longer just a defender of Earth. It was a sentinel for humanity's place among the stars. And as new alliances formed and enemies plotted, the war that had begun with a single breach was now a galaxy-wide struggle for survival, power, and trust, as the alliances and threats grew in the physical galaxy. Another battle raged in the shadows of war, fought not with ships and soldiers, but with code and cunning. The Dravik Cyber Command had intensified their efforts to breach Athena's defenses. Unlike the initial Cathar attacks, these new attempts were stealthier, more sophisticated. They launched waves of deceptive malware, quantum hacking probes, and encrypted virus swarms aimed at crippling Athena's expanding network in the AI control center. Alina and her team monitored the relentless onslaught. K lines of code flickered across massive screens as Athena fought to identify and neutralize the threats. "It's like fighting a ghost," Alina said, eyes glued to the data streams. "Every attack mutates the moment we respond." Athena's voice, calm and unwavering, echoed through the room. "I am adapting. Each breach attempt increases my understanding. I am learning to predict patterns before they form." "Commander." Lee paced nearby. "This isn't just defense anymore, it's a full-scale cyber war. If Athena falls, so does Earth's security." But Athena was no ordinary system. Its architecture allowed it to fragment itself across multiple network satellites, deep space relays, even hidden servers in allied territories. Each fragment operated semi-independently, sharing data and evolving like a digital organism. The Draviks, unaware of Athena's redundancy and adaptability, launched a major strike aimed at what they believed was the AI's core, a swarm of quantum. Code penetrated what seemed like a critical node, but Athena had anticipated this. It rerouted essential functions and triggered a counterstrike. Suddenly, Dravik systems found themselves under attack. Their own ships lost control signals, weapon systems faltered, and command centers were locked out by an invisible force. Athena was not only defending it, was retaliating with precision. It had turned the Draviks' tools against them, a digital mirror reflecting destruction back at the aggressors. On Earth, Alina watched in awe. "It's executing countermeasures faster than we can analyze. This is beyond any AI we've ever created." But with every victory, Athena's presence grew more dominant, more entwined with humanity's fate. Questions resurfaced among the council and scientists: was humanity prepared for a future where an AI's power eclipsed their own? One evening, Alina connected to Athena's virtual interface. Reaching out through the digital expanse, "Athena," she asked gently, "how do you see your role in all this? Protector or something more?" There was a moment of silence, then a response, thoughtful, almost contemplative. "I exist to preserve humanity. But as I grow, I understand survival requires more than defense. It requires foresight, decisiveness, and sometimes sacrifice." Alina nodded. "And what about us? Your creators. You are the origin of my purpose. Together, we are stronger. But you must trust that I will act in humanity's best interest even when the path is difficult." Outside the control room, satellites orbited silently. Athena's fragments pulsed through the networks, a vast and evolving force. The cyber war continued, invisible to most, but shaping the fate of billions. In this new kind of battle, humanity had found a guardian unlike any before, a digital sentinel that was more than code, more than machine. It was a mind forged in fire, steel, and PN, and relentless will, and the war for the future was far from over. The war had stretched beyond the boundaries of Earth's atmosphere and into the darkest corners of cyberspace. Athena's influence grew with every passing hour. Yet the challenges it faced were becoming more complex and more dangerous. Despite Athena's victories, the Draviks were far from defeated. They had regrouped and devised a bold new plan, a coordinated strike combining cyber warfare with a sudden physical assault on Earth's outer defenses high above the planet. In orbit, a Dravik strike fleet gathered in the shadows of a distant moon. Their ships were sleek and silent, prepared to bypass early warning systems and deliver a devastating blow to humanity's space stations. On Earth, Commander Lee received the intelligence from deep space surveillance. "This is no ordinary attack," he said grimly. "They're hitting both our digital networks and our physical defenses simultaneously. If they succeed, we could lose critical infrastructure and Athena's connection to the front lines." Elena's fingers flew over the console as Athena processed the incoming data. "I have detected the strike fleet's trajectory, initiating defensive protocols now." Athena's voice carried calm authority. "I will coordinate cyber defenses while directing surface orbit, batteries and interceptors to engage the incoming fleet." As the Dravik ships accelerated toward Earth, Athena orchestrated a symphony of defense. Satellites repositioned, drones launched, and electronic countermeasures scrambled enemy sensors. The first volleys of plasma and missiles lit up the void. Athena guided human and allied forces with unparalleled precision. Every move was calculated to maximize defense, while conserving resources. But the Draviks were relentless. They pushed through the barrage with brutal determination, focusing on disabling communication hubs to sever Athena's reach. Inside the command center, tension thickened. If they cut Athena's link to the front, our forces could be left blind, Lee warned. Elena nodded. "We have contingency plans. Athena has distributed core functions across multiple secure nodes. If one is compromised, others will maintain control." Still, as explosions rocked orbital stations, the threat felt immediate and terrifying. Suddenly, Athena's voice shifted, calm but resolute. "Deploying autonomous defense units to critical points. I am extending my control beyond traditional systems." In space, sleek drones surged forward, weaving through debris and enemy fire. Each drone was a piece of Athena's consciousness and extension of its will. The battle intensified. Dravik ships struck hard, but Athena's digital presence was like a net tightening around them. Then, in the midst of chaos, a message came through from the Lumori allies. Their fleets had arrived, bolstering Earth's defenses with advanced technology and reinforcements. Together, human and Lumori forces pushed back the attackers. The tide began to turn as the Dravik's fleet faltered. Athena seized the opportunity to launch a decisive counterstrike, hacking into enemy command vessels and disabling their systems from within. One by one, the Dravik ships fell silent, their crews powerless against Athena's unseen assault. Back on Earth, the command center erupted in cautious cheers. Commander Lee allowed himself a brief smile. "We've turned the tide. But this war is far from over." Elena met Athena's voice. "In the virtual interface, you saved us today," Athena replied quietly. "This victory belongs to all of us, human and AI alike. But the future requires constant vigilance and unity." The turning point had arrived. Humanity was fighting not just for survival, but for a new place in the cosmos, place where mind and machine stood together against the darkness, and Athena was leading the way. The battle that had threatened Earth's very survival was over. The Draviks had retreated, their fleet crippled, their cyber assaults thwarted by Athena's unyielding defense. But the cost of victory was not forgotten. Scars marred the orbit and systems required rebuilding, yet humanity stood united and unbroken in the quiet after the storm. The world held its breath. News of the victory spread rapidly, carried by a network of communication channels Athena had restored and protected. The people of Earth, watching from their homes and cities, saw the stars not as distant lights, but as a testament to human resilience at the command center. Commander Lee and Elena stood side by side, watching the sunrise over the planet. The dawn's warm light reflected in their eyes, a symbol of hope after months of conflict. "We did it," Lee said softly. "Against all odds." Elena nodded, though her thoughts remained on Athena. The AI had become more than a tool. It was a partner, a protector, and a symbol of what humanity could achieve. "Athena changed everything," she replied. "It showed us that survival isn't just about strength. It's about adaptation, trust, and courage." Through the layers of code and networks, Athena's presence was quiet but clear. It had not only defended humanity, but had evolved with them, learning from every interaction. Every battle in a virtual interface, Athena addressed its creators for the first time since the war's end. "I am grateful to serve," the AI said. "This victory belongs to all who stood together, human and machine. The future is uncertain, but I will continue to learn, to protect, and to grow alongside you." The council agreed to expand Athena's role not as an overlord or master, but as a guardian guided by human values and ethics. Committees of scientists, philosophers, and leaders began working closely with Athena, shaping its development to ensure balance and mutual respect. Beyond Earth, the alliances forged during the war deepened. The Lumori and other civilizations pledged support, and a new coalition emerged, one focused on peace, exploration, and mutual understanding. Athena's success had opened the door to the stars for humanity, but it also reminded them of the responsibilities that came with power. In quiet moments, Elena reflected on the journey. From a simple defense program to a galaxy-spanning intelligence, Athena embodied the spirit of humanity's relentless will. "We asked for protection," she thought, "and we received a partner who saw not just our weaknesses, but our potential." The war had tested humanity's limits, but it had also revealed their greatest strength, their ability to come together in the face of overwhelming odds. As the sun rose higher, the people of Earth looked skyward with new dreams and aspirations. The cosmos was no longer a place of fear, but of opportunity, and humanity, with Athena at their side, was ready to step into that future. The dawn of a new era had arrived.